Let's go into Van's question. He says, hey coaches, based on my BMI, I am categorized as obese. I'm 5'6", weighing 97 kilograms. I didn't run the conversions for that. Nate, would you mind converting that height and that weight for us so that we can get that for folks? He says, I train for my races, but keep getting mediocre results. What do you think? Should I lose weight first before being competitive, or just continue training for races? Because it seems, he mentions that it's really tough for him. And even though he says that in this case, he's coming in obese. So he's wondering if that's affecting his ability to be able to perform, period. He also mentions the fact that after training, his body is craving food. So this is a common question that we get. The question of, should I lose weight first and focus on that, and then later worry about performance and driving up my numbers and really putting in that consistent hard work that makes me faster? Or should I try to do both at the same time? Ivy, what are your thoughts on this?
I think fans should go competitive when they feel like competing will be productive and rewarding and fulfilling. And that might for them look like losing a little bit weight because they feel like they will perform better and that they'll get more out of racing. Or if they feel like there is a setting and like a discipline in which they could race now and get a lot out of it and enjoy it, then they absolutely should. But I guess the only thing that I see is like problematic is this view that it's backfiring, that they feel like after training, their body is still craving food. Your body will always crave food after training. And that's a good thing. If it does, it means you're doing it right. And that's not going to go away as you get fitter and lose weight. Food isn't the enemy. And it's, so I guess we should just work to dispel that perspective that craving food is bad. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. To get the measurements, 5'6", 214 pounds, or 167.5 centimeters, and 97 kilograms.
Awesome.
That's fan size right now.
This reminds me of a post that we have on our blog from Jesse Fortson. And actually we recorded a Successful Athletes podcast with him. And Jesse is one of our great copywriters here at TrainerRoad. He's fantastic. He had that same situation, or as I should say, a similar situation in the sense that he had a lot of weight to lose. And he did focus on losing a lot of that weight and compartmentalize some things. And he prioritized some things beforehand. And we'll link to that episode down below so you can listen to that. But at the same time, I also feel like there's a trap that exists where you think, oh, before I train really hard, or before I focus on goals, or before I let myself race, I really need to lose weight first. So you compartmentalize it and you miss an opportunity to think that, hey, you know what? Like if I actually just train and if I nourish myself appropriately and I go through this process, my body is going to optimize over time. Like it's going to get there. You don't have to be skinny to be a bike racer. You don't have to be starving to be a bike racer. Sorry, Nate.
I would never race.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like that's the reality for
No, I'm just big. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay to be big. It's not an awe.
Yeah. This is the reality that I think that we should, we don't have to reach to the ideal that we see in the Tour de France. Instead, it's all of us doing this thing. We're not perfect, and that's fine. So I would encourage you, Van, just in this case, just like what Ivy said, is don't put the pressure on yourself that you need to be something before you race. Just race if you want to race. If you don't want to race, then don't force yourself to race. And then also don't feel like you need to lose weight before you train or before you're considered a cyclist or before anything else, because it's going to happen if you're following a training plan that you want to follow. That's something that I feel like we put way too much pressure on ourselves to be something that we're not in those cases. Keegan, can you comment on the food part of like after training, my body is craving food? Because you eat more than anybody I know, I think. And you're also one of the smallest people I know. So I think that there's this misconception that athletes like you just don't eat and you somehow are able to train a bunch. So we put this pressure on ourselves. What do you feel like after you train? And what do you usually eat after you train?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of tricky because I know you have to, like, obviously you can't eat too much because I don't want to put on weight. Kind of just want to maintain where I am, or sometimes I want to lose like a few pounds. But you definitely have to focus on fueling the work and recovering. And the way that my nutritionist has like kind of put it in terms that makes sense, you have to fuel the work the day before as well. So if you have a hard day on Saturday, then on Friday, you need to make sure you're eating enough And then it just kind of like, it's just cycle, you know, and if you have like a rest week, sure, maybe you don't need to have quite as much carbs at dinner or whatever, you can cut back a little bit there. But I think when you're just constantly training and all your days are medium hard or whatever they are, I think you just need to focus on fueling, especially after the workout. You have like, you know, a couple hour window, you have your recovery shake, then have a good meal. And then if that happens to be in the afternoon, it's close to dinner, maybe you don't have to eat as big of a meal at dinner because you just had a proper meal after your ride. So I think it's just about like kind of timing and making sure you're eating enough of the right stuff. Like make sure you have enough carbs, make sure you have enough protein, and then make sure you have enough vegetables and whatever else. And then obviously during the ride, you want to make sure you're fueling it. Even if it's only an hour-long ride, you still want to make sure you have some drink mix or a gel or just something, even though you don't need it. Like I could go do a 4-hour ride without any food and I'd be fine, but it would just put me in a hole for the next day. So I think you have to plan like further ahead than just in that moment.
That is important. So what you're saying is, because we get this question all the time, and actually Dr. Tim, I can never say his name.
Podlagar.
Yes, he is going to do, he's actually trying to figure out research of fueling those easy rides. How does that then impact your next day? And because of COVID, that's on hold right now. But Keegan, you're saying that on your easier days, on your shorter ride, you'll still fuel it, because if you don't, it could impact your harder days going on in the week. And you start to get yourself into a hole.
Yeah, I don't eat on recovery rides. Like I don't need to take any food for that. It's like an hour just floating easy. You don't need anything for those, I don't think. But I mean, if it's just like a shorter, like two or so hour ride, and if there's any sort of intensity, you still need to have something. Or if it's an hour long ride, but it's full of intervals. And also, I mean, I'm sure you guys have fallen into the trap of like, oh, it's a rest day, I don't need to eat as much, I haven't done anything. But you had a hard day before, and then you have a hard day after, and then you go into that hard day and you're like, oh, I don't feel very good, even though like I should. Like everything says I should feel fine, and you're like, oh, I didn't eat enough yesterday, and it was a rest day, and you just don't. Sometimes you have to eat even if you don't want to or you don't think you should. So I've definitely fallen into that trap more than once and be like, wow, I guess I just didn't eat enough yesterday. That's probably why I feel like crap today.
And that kind of takes away a day from your training, your build, right?
It does. And even if you get the workout done, like you're scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to do the numbers, and you just feel terrible and it's so hard. Then you go home and you smash down a bunch of food. The next day you go do the same workout and you're going to feel great. So I think you have to like just find that balance. You know, you don't have to like fill yourself with junk food. It can be healthy, proper carbs and whatever else. Save the junk food for stage races. But
that is like that's a key. What you just said, like the eating, the RPE gets less, right? If you're not hungry. And that is so much easier for training long-term if every workout's not just like super duper hard. When I think I lost 30 pounds. Yeah. I went from like 210 to 180. 180 is too small for my frame, I think. I'm like 197 at the moment, the same body fat at 180. But I was not eating enough, and I would try to do these sweet spot workouts, and I could go back and look at them, and every like inside of 10-minute intervals, I was like taking like 2-minute breaks. It was so hard to do everything by not fueling in that. And two, you said about those recovery days. What I think about it is like you're in a car, you're driving across the country, you're really low on gas, you spend the night at a gas station, but you don't fill up on gas because you're like, I'm not driving today. And the next day you start driving again and you're like, what's wrong? Like, I don't have any gas. It doesn't work. And you don't realize like, hey, you're driving on both sides. Like you got to fuel up.
Yeah.
Can I give Van my opinion?
Please. Yeah.
So Van, I go back and forth on this of how quickly you should lose weight depending on how obese you are. And we were going to talk about BMI as a separate topic, but BMI in general is not the best metric, right? But you know, Van, if you're obese or not, right? If you're a bodybuilder and this is all muscle, you're 5'6", 214 pounds, and it's all muscle, you're probably not obese, right? But BMI might say you're obese, so just know that. But Van, I'm going to assume that you do have weight to lose. Now, Jesse, he is our employee. He went from 345 pounds down to 198 at 6 feet tall. So Jesse did a incredible journey. So please read that article. A lot of good stuff in that Jesse wrote. But this is what I would do. I would do about, based on your height, I wouldn't go the 1.8 grams of protein or 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. I would not do that for you because of just your weight. I would say I would do about 180 grams of protein a day, or 170. I would do that. And what that's going to do is, as you lose weight, that's going to keep your muscle on by having enough adequate protein, and it's going to help with recovery. So I would do that. I would minimize your fat. Just try to get your fat from healthy foods, but still get enough fat. So maybe 50 to 60 grams. I would train, and then inside of there, have carbs through vegetables and stuff like that, and sports drink on the bike, but still try to go to bed a little bit hungry every day. And if you're craving food after the ride, have something. That's a great time to have a protein shake and some carbohydrate, but just have a little bit less than normal and see how you feel. Like, give it a while. I think we've all done it where everybody, you're hungry, you eat a bunch of food, then you keep eating, and then like an hour later, you're like, woof, like I am so much hungrier than I thought I would be. And it takes a while. It's like a lagging response time. Mm-hmm. And I think from your size, you're not that big, Van. I would just go incrementally over time, hit the training, be consistent. And then the other thing I would do is add weight training to your program for sure. I would do full body workouts 3 days per week. And you don't have to do like four pec exercises or something. Do 2 sets of kind of the big moves of like deadlift, squat, overhead press, dips, and bench press. That's probably good. And I would do that 3 times per week, spread that out. That will also help you maintain muscle mass. And what I find is if you combine the eating, the cycling, and the weight training, like the body fat starts to come off. It's going to take time, take many months, maybe a year. That will come off though, and you'll have all this muscle, and your metabolism will stay high. It'll just be this. It'll really set you up for health long term. You're going to get stronger. You can totally during this time gain muscle, get stronger on the bike, and lose weight. Totally possible, especially from where you're at. If someone says you can't gain muscle and lose weight at the same time, that's not true at all. So, and then during that, I think sign up for some races, and even especially some of these races like fondos or gravel races where, unless you're Keegan, you don't win. Like none of us win here, right? And Keegan, you don't win too, obviously. Apparently, sorry.
Ouch.
You don't win every race, and you can just be competitive against yourself, right? Like I just Tahoe Trail. I'm not going to win Tahoe Trail, and I'm not air quotes competitive, but I get to still do it and have fun, and I can be competitive against people around me. And there's always going to be people around you, and if there's not, just sign up for a bigger race because there's always going to be somebody.
Yeah, that strength training does a huge bump to keeping your metabolism high. It makes everything a whole lot easier for the goals that you want to go for, in this case, Van. So Van's next question is, Ivy, did you have something for you?
Oh yeah, I just had a small piece to share about going to bed hungry that might help, because I used to go to bed hungry all the time because I'm dumb, not because I was like trying to achieve anything, but and I would like every night wake up around like 3 or 4 in the morning and just like boom, awake for like a couple hours and couldn't get back to sleep, and it was like wrecking my sleep. And for years I did that. And then I heard this piece of advice that from a nutritionist, that when your body's doing that, it needs cortisol to like tap into your body's stores to recover and repair and like do the work that it needs to be doing when you're sleeping. And so if you just have a little bit of fat and sugar right before you go to sleep, like a little piece of like cheese and a strawberry or something, your body doesn't need that cortisol to get into its stores. And it totally helped me. So yeah, go to bed hungry as long as you aren't like waking up in the middle of the night because your body needs something to recover and repair.
You don't need a huge bowl of ice cream with 6 scoops.
No.
A piece of cheese or chocolate or something with some fruit could be just the right amount in order to sleep through the night. Another thing too that I've mentioned this before, but melatonin at night, high dose melatonin can cause a rebound effect where if you are taking even 1 milligram. But some people I've talked to people, they're like, I take 5 grams of melatonin. I go to bed fine, but then I always wake up at 3 in the morning. There's a rebound effect that happens where your body, if you take a high dose, I don't know the exact science and I shouldn't even be talking about it, but basically your body compensates for the melatonin you've taken and you wake up earlier. I do like a 5 milligram only if I'm on a flight where I can only sleep for like 5 hours or something, and I need to wake up in 5 hours. Other than that, I will do occasionally half a milligram of melatonin, and it seems like not much if you're going from 5. You might have to work your way down, but that is just enough where personally I don't get a rebound factor in that.
Yeah.
Did you take 5?
Gotten that.
You've gotten that rebound?
I've taken 10, all sorts of melatonin, and never had the rebound. It always just knocks me out all night.
The first time I took melatonin was on a flight, and with the intent of like sleeping on the whole flight and using that to aid in that, because I don't sleep well on flights. I took 5 milligrams, and after 1 hour, I was like more awake than I have ever been in my entire life. So I just like sat there, and because like of poor planning, I was like, oh, I'm going to sleep the whole flight, so I'm not going to load everything full of like movies and everything else. And I just sat there just like staring at the seat in front of me.
Well, everyone's asleep.
Everyone's asleep on the plane. Yeah. So one thing on the go to bed hungry thing, because I just want to clarify something. Somebody's hearing that and thinking like, okay, so I should not eat dinner, or I should really starve myself. And that's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about all of us experience like, so, and first of all, let's consider Van's situation and then consider your own, and your own situation may be very different from Van's. Chances are it is, because we're all very different. Right. So, but in this case, Van is talking about wanting to lose a substantial amount of weight. Right. And that's like a big goal of Van's in this case. So, keep that in mind. With that in mind, what we're talking about is avoiding indulging the late night cravings that you have to have those 6 scoops of ice cream, like Nate said. Instead, it's eating nutritious meals. It's nourishing yourself. It's fueling yourself, but avoiding excess where it isn't necessary to fuel work or to drive recovery. Right. So that's all we're talking about there. And what that feels like many times is going to bed hungry. You're not starving, but you don't feel like you're full. Mm-hmm.
It's like a teeny bit. It's like threading the needle where you're like, I feel a little bit hungry. It's not so uncomfortable that it's going to like make it so I can't go to sleep. And then when I feel it, I go, if I need to lose weight, I say, wow, this is the feeling that I'm after. This isn't a bad thing right now. This is the feeling that I'm after. I drink some kind of tea. I like an orange spice tea. It like makes me, I don't know why, but it makes me not hungry. I drink that, decaf, of course, and then I go to sleep. I've had it though, where I go, oh geez, I am going to eat the whole house. I messed up. This is not a good position to be in. And I always indulge myself there, because if you don't do it then, it's going to go even harder later. And I just try to do it where I don't do the 6 scoops of ice cream. I used to do, back in my fatter days, I would do a personal apple pie and then put like 3 scoops of ice cream on it. And I'd eat that every night before bed. So that would be something that would be probably a little bit too much. And I'm not the only one, I bet, that has done that before.
Yes, I think we all have, right? Yeah.
I'm glad we clarified that though, about going to bed hungry. I was some alarm bells of like, oh gosh, we gotta have our athletes like starving themselves before bed.
So many maximalists, right?
It's
like
it's very hard though to lose a bunch of weight and not ever be hungry. Like,
right.
It's like you have to be okay being uncomfortable. And yeah, that's it. You got to be, but you just don't want to be starving. It's a very minimum amount.
Yeah. If you ask Jesse,
over time.
Jesse, the one we're talking about, Jesse Fortson here. And once again, we'll link to everything down below in the live chat. Now Jesse's in there actually. And Jesse's been linking, and Jesse, you can answer this in live chat right now, but I've spoken to you about this, losing all the weight that you did. And you continue to constantly work at this as well. But it's one of the hardest things you've done. You've mentioned that before. Like this is like, that sort of weight loss that you're talking about, that's really, really, really hard. And it is uncomfortable. And you're like switching patterning from your body across the board. And so it's really hard. But it's I'm sure in Van's case, but I'll just speak for Jesse's case. Jesse wanted to be healthier for his kids. He wanted to be around. He wanted to be a better dad. He wanted to be a healthier person. And he wanted to be an athlete again, being a college football player, and wanted to be able to compete and long-term health. Like there's so many good reasons to do that. And I feel like there's one side of things where we we actually kind of like demonize this like drive to lose weight in the world. But the fact is if that's driving you toward better health, that is something that all of us should support. Like we need to find ways to help people feel okay with that and not feel like I can't even say that I'm losing weight. I know that can swing the other way, but I feel like we, at the same time, we have to recognize and how great that is to push for just health.
Yeah. If somebody wants to do it, let's support them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up.
If you didn't like this video, you can give it a thumbs down, but let us know what you would have done differently in the comments below.
If you want to see more of these videos, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to become a faster cyclist, check out TrainerRoad.com.
Do it.